Okay, Space Kraken Part 2, the setup. Um, these you need start lines to start the 4 parallel stories, and this part should be in the main chapter, chapter 3, and the only thing that you need here, which is missing, is how do you start. And it says you are free to combine them as you wish. Just take one out of line 1 box, line 2 box, line 3 box, and one of the 4 box. And that is not how we do it. You should roll for some kind of variation, and I think the most sensible one, because you can't decide anyway which one you choose. So let the game choose it for you. Now I already chose one in new, and I was too cowardice to write on the CGM Tracker itself immediately. So I wrote, and I also redesigned it a bit, for the 4 lines 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here you write the plot points on the top line, and here you write the values that could change because of your choices. And the interlink memory is a global thing from I to Z. That holds the state of the game, more or less, and these are only story related. The lines, so line 1 is 1 NU, and this is all just before the game. For line 2 I roll, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is reroll. Okay, so it's 4. It's 1 RK. RX. Okay, 1 RX. Line 3. 1 FF. I think it's really instructional to see this because it's not really explained. Okay, it's also a 1. So it's 1 EV. Now I would propose in the final version to have a checkbox here in white that you can tick off. So every new game you only consider the unticked ones, and for the second game you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example. So it's easy to always successfully generate. And for the third game there would be 2 crossed out. So it's for example on alt you take the first, and on even you take the second. And the last game you have only 1 choice left, so that would at least give you a complete view of all the lines that are possible. Then on the 5th game you untick everything and just roll randomly, and then you can mix and match depending how you roll. I think that's a successful way to do it. So now we started. I think before we do our first action, we need to take a look at skills, as I promised, and they are on page 51. I mean, it could be a good game in principle. Alright, close your eyes because I'm going to change the perspective here. So to clarify, we have on the left we have the enemy's skills. There is two actions, does two actions. Absorber, it absorbs a loss of energy shield, acid, burning, camouflage, energizer, evade, explosive X, fast, flash, guard, kamikaze, medic X, parasite, passive, predator, region X, shields up, smoke X, swarm, tank, temporary, tentacles, theft, vampire, and zombie X. So for zombie, of course, if you kill it, it's still there. For us, there's advanced muscles, awareness, berserk, blind fighting, bodyguard, burst, carrier, chain attack, charm, clever, combat reflexes, cyber eye, dark soul, die hard, doge, fast regeneration, hero immunity, independent targeting. Independent targeting is very useful in combat. Well, I don't have it. Leader, medic, quick reloads, scrap dealer, self-control, sniper, subskin armor, two-handed, warrior, supporter. And these are all the 1P. They cost 1 hero skill point. So I would propose to put the +1 on the left of the title to make it more clear. Because the 1P does not apply to the advanced muscles, it applies to the choice. There you have then borderline and wildcard. I made these yellow with a marker. Borderline and wildcard are free, so 0 points. Aggressive, decadence, douchebag, sensitive, weak, and team player are negative skills. So for each one of these, you have to select one of these. There should be more negative hero skills, if you ask me. And also what I miss here is what do you say, like a navigator, so you can navigate, or some kind of charting skill for inside the maps. Something to absorb enemy hit points, for example, some kind of so that if an enemy dies, that you can suck its body to gain I don't know, oxygen. So there, these could be worked out a little bit better. Now for the things that I chose, borderline. So already I have something like you have a skill on the hero sheet. You want to find it as fast as possible. So do everything alphabetically ordered, so any reader can find it, because borderline is not here, it's here. You get 2 extra attribute points to spend, but 1 attribute has to stay 1 forever. So I chose melee to have 1 forever. And it is for the borderline girl, Mila. She has borderline. And I just encircle the 1 to signify that there is something fixed there. Burst. Mila is also burst. Burst is fire any weapon a second time, but if a single die during this attack shows a 6, the weapon will explode and only deals you a damage like its half damage. In this case, no shields are applied, but armor. This is a very convoluted way to describe something, but I think it will explode immediately on the 6, I think, and the damage that it should deal is its written damage, and then you get to apply armor to mitigate the damage. something like that. And half damage is of course rounded in some way, rounded up, I think. That's what I mean, you have to rewrite everything. Okay, that was burst. Douchebag. Douchebag is a negative skill. Every time you level up, pay 1 extra EXP. Now, I'm guessing that you gain EXP by killing enemies, but I'm not sure how the cost is and where do you expend this extra EXP on. Okay, never mind, because we're not there yet. Cross that bridge. Bodyguards. Bodyguard is 4 legs. Bodyguard. Once per turn, if the enemy's melee or ranged attack a crewmate, you may decide to take this attack into your own, even if you are not in first place of the target priority order. Also lower its damage by 2. I think I get what he wants to say, but it's not ideal. Next is team player. Now we're getting to the fun stuff. Yeah, team player. Let's take a look what it says. I'm going to change like so. So, team player. If your squad team gets reduced to 3 or less by out of consciousness or death, you get the malus like you have low HP for combat dice tests. Now, the game starts with 3, well, unless you got the perk for the 4th hero. So I would add here, if your squad gets reduced from 4 to 3, then I'm fine with it. And the malus, like you have low HP, and there is no malus for low HP, so it should be specified what it actually means. Then we have medic. Can't really show it, so I'm just going to read it. Medic is here. If you heal a single crew member, including yourself, heal additional 2 HP. If you heal all members, plus 1 HP. There are like 100 problems with this, but heal additional 2 HP to who? I think the crew member, and that. But if the crew member is not injured, can you heal him? So what is healing? I think if you just write a wounded crew member, any wounded single crew member heals 2 additional HP on top of the heal action. And if you heal all crew members plus 1 HP, means that all crew members get plus 1 HP? Or is it above the HP total? So I would just scrap that. Or in other words, if all crew members are wounded and they are all healed, then you get plus 1 HP. Something like that. But let's cross the bridge when we get there. Now we finally, after 14 minutes, we are at, well, we can take off. So we go to, where do we go to from here? Yeah, so how does it, the core components overview, game phases. Yeah, so General rules, game phases. Here we are. I think that I'm going to need a third video. Game phases. Step 1. Activate lines on your CGM tracker. First handle each line on your CGM line tracker sheet by activating each line from top to bottom as explained in top 6 CGM line tracker in detail. So you have to do line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4 and completely until you reached the next plot point. And I would really prefer to not use the terminology in the book, but plot points. Plot points are the pointers that show an actual address in the matrix. The other ones are commands, and the commands you have to follow up. Okay, ship construction. When starting a new game, you can just skip it. So we'll do that. Your own action. Decide to initiate a space flight, landing at a previously discovered location, or activate the line again. Yeah, so this is the part where we can actually go flight with our spaceship, or we can redo one of the CGM lines, or we can land at a previously discovered location, and that is important if you found, for example, a shop and you want to visit the shop again. It would be really nice to have a teleport as well. Quick visit a shop, ammo dealer, or quest master. Well, there's not really much quick about it. It's just visit a location. It's an step 4 is deepening of the previously discovered location thing. But never mind that. Yeah, you must have it in your star map, and you must have remembered it in your Navi thing of 3 locations. That's it. And then there is the quest timer. If you have quests with a timer, then you tick off the timer, and after 5 it is erased, and you have to pay the penalty. Then there is recovery phase. That's impossibly complicated way, but if you have actually done something, and if you are on the ship, then you can recover. And recovering means here in the recovery phase you can regenerate your crew on board. If you have no specific med systems, unconscious heroes recover back to 3 HP. All others recover plus 3 HP up to their maximum HP level. That is assuming that recovery is always less than when you are not unconscious. Oxygen is refilled, and also exchange items and weapons between the crew members and the ship's inventory. Yep, so we go activate the lines on our CGM tracker. We have 5 more minutes, so we can do that. Okay, 1 NU in order. Go to the, and now we have the full game, because we have to fold out 1 NU. So 1 N U. It is exclamation mark DH. And I then stop, and I go to exclamation mark DH. And there it is. DH. Your ship leaves the hyperspace, and what you see is a chaotic zone in space with multiple star systems, nebulas, and even a black hole is present, and a dark matter vortex. You wonder how the scientists from Earth will react if they see your records and their first proof of their theory about the creation of dark matter, and why they were not discovered in space until today. It is so amazing to be here and see it. Now, that's awesome. And how do you progress from here? Well, you go to the next thing on the right, and the next thing on the right is 1LQ. So I write 1LQ here. That's actually not correct. I have to go to watch at 1LQ. Now Q is a is an event C0. So it's not. I remember C0. Like so. I think you have to write down everything. I mean, it is just nonsense to. Wait, I need the address, so it's 1LQ. That's what I meant. Do not play your first game by writing on the CGM line tracker. C0 then. Oops. C. C0. You try to discover the region carefully. You try to recover the region carefully and find some trader or friendly spaceship to find out more about it. You need to know who you can trust and who not. And it will take a little to get new friends and learn how to avoid your enemies. The Krakens are omnipresent and you have to take care not getting sighted by them. So nothing happens after that. There are no choices. And so I go back to 1LQ C0. And next to the C0 there are two values, but I only need to check the first one. It's a 3IX. So I write simply 3IX. And I look at 3IX, and it is IX. It's 2GD. Okay, 2GD. 2GD is I'm not really sure that this is the correct thing. I think I should stop if it is not an exclamation mark. 2GD. It goes to an event. So I think I'll just write 2GD. I'm not really sure. So the second line gets starting from 1RX. 1RX 2QP. So I write 2QP. So I cannot make mistakes with this. 2QP. It's an event. Okay, so I have to do the event. 2QP is exclamation C6. Let's take a look. C6. C6. Okay. A Diabolo-shaped spaceship arrives and the video transmission shows that they are
ugly fat creatures like bears without fur. At least they are quite friendly and simple-minded. They generally want to buy all items, weapons you can offer them. Now for the full price, -1 C per item, -1 intergalactic credit. It's a C with a slash through it in the final version. Then, while they hands on your weapons, they shoot one of them accidentally into his foot. And it seems they are used to do foolish things like that and keep on testing, laughing. Yeah, that's nice, but there is no choice here. So, what should I do? Should I don't have anything to offer. So I'm not sure why this would make sense. This early in the story, you don't have much to offer. I could offer energy shield or something. Well, the hands on your weapons. Whatever. 1 FF for the third line. 1 FF. So in the final version, the cells are colored in green and red, and green means continue and red means stop. So that's a pretty important way to navigate. So let's see, 1 FF. So it's not as complicated in the final version, if that ever takes off. Exclamation AR. I like the stories. Exclamation AR. AR. Our long-range sensors discovered a moon in the middle of nowhere. It seems it lost its planet and just passing this star system. No matter why, but you have a quite bad feeling about its presence deep inside your mind. But its mineral scans detected terrific resources. You start another scan. Now that sounds like 1 FF goes to 1 FF goes to 1 HX. 1 HX is 3 NR. Yeah, this works. 3 NR. This is a plot point, so I stop there. And the final one is 1 EV. EV, it's A plus 2. That is, I have to look it up. 29, okay. That will be on the next video. So